Hello, hello. Hello, mic check. Hello, mic check. Hello, hello, hello.
Researchers and game philosophers. I said a very warm welcome to you all. This is afternoon keynote session, which focuses on the theme, the topic is leadership. Today we are going to provide vision, transition, and inspiration toward these collective nation goals. It is my great honor and privilege to introduce our SVP speaker, Professor Dr. S. Pawar, an internationally renowned scientist and a leader and a citizen builder. Professor Pawar is currently serving as the director, Center of Research and Technology Development at Senior Institute Surabaya, and is also research director of this institute. He is a favorite scientist of concept science and please he has a critical distinct professor in the Department of Physics, Manchester for DCME, University, and Chicago University, Kolkata. He is also visionary founder director of pre-multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary research centers established at PKP Mahanagar, Senior Institute Solapur, and the Human Education Society Bhavan. His experience in the media research ecosystem. Mr. Pawar has very important contribution to human resource development in science and technology. He has successfully guided 78 PhD scholars. He is also 78 also successfully guided 78 PhD scholars. Including 50 people, and Shivaji University is out of 78, 52 are at Shivaji University, and 26 at Divayapati University. And the greatest to head on the doctoral, postdoctoral, UG, and PG researchers. More than 60 active related researchers. He is actually outputted actually number one research aggregation, books, education of his global research impact, one fundamental future among the top two fundamental scientists worldwide. He was collaborated with and scientists at University and research institutions and across the globe. Secondly, the international scientific collaboration. Also, our research work covers a wide range of important fields, such as physics, the materials science, chemical science, nanotechnology, nanotechnology, atmospheric nanotechnology, agricultural nanotechnology, and biomedical biocomposition. So compositing area supports across sustainable development. So this is the name of our conference. The so most frequently and related to significantly poor. Skills application, advancing application and research. So this book is published by Noah and publisher USA. Also, another book is technology application in medical, biotechnology, and architecture approach. So this book is also published by published application book. So second is very the external knowledge with the modern science. Promise to offer strategic insight, different perspective and accessible pathway. Because it's to 2012, so they are request to
technology in science and technology. To begin with, I'm very much grateful to you, Madni ma'am, for introducing me in the nice way. What a coincidence it is. The person who has introduced me has worked with me in our group at Sinhagad Institute, Solapur, in the Center for Research and Technology Development. Friends, up till now, whosoever worked with me, maybe as a research collaborator or maybe in my research group, most of them, they have got their career further. When I was the Vice Chancellor at the D.Y. Patil University, my PA at the same time, the Vice Chancellor, when I was the Director at PKIT Varnanagar, Director at Sinhagad Institute, Director at the CIAR, Center for Research and Technology, Baramati, all my, the associate, where they have got their PhDs. And I'm very proud that, okay, they are doing well. At the same time, Madam has expressed about my research group. I'm glad to let you know that my research group, 52 students in Shivaji University and 26 students in D.Y. Patil University, most of them, they are working abroad. They are holding very good positions and so doing very well. Last week only, I visited National Physical Laboratory, Delhi. Am I audible outside? Okay. Last week only, I visited National Physical Laboratory, New Delhi. You know that there are many more laboratories in the country to do the research. And National Physical Laboratory is one of the best physical science institutions in the country. And in that institute, one of my PhD student, Dr. Sivugan, he has been working as a senior scientist. And he has, that is in the history of the National Physical Laboratory, he is the only scientist who has got the 100 crore project, and that's the first in the history of National Physical Laboratory. Like that, many of my PhD students, some of them have become the vice chancellor, some of them become pro vice chancellor, many of them have become the director and working abroad. With all these background, I'm proud that. So today we are talking about in this particular conference, that is science and technology road mapping with sustainable development for Vikasit Bharat. Specifically, this conference is related to sustainable development. That is the advanced technologies for sustainable developments. And what do you mean by the sustainable developments? That's why here in my title, the science and technology road mapping with sustainable development for Vikasit Bharat. Sustainable development means there is large progress is going on, but that progress, when you make the progress, there is Sanshodhanatma Samriddhi Kade. That is the main base for the progress. But whatever progress we make it must be sustainable. It means that the development should not affect the future generation. So you must develop the technology in such a fashion. So there's our future generation, we should not. For example, now we're using the different sources of energy. For anything, if we are developing, we are consuming the energy. But when we are consuming the energy, specifically at present, we are mostly rely on the conventional source of energy, that is petrol, fuel, and petrol, diesel, rocket, these things like that. But when we're consuming these things, okay, we are spoiling the environment. So that kind of development is not expected in sustainable development. Sustainable development, it means that when you take any development, it should not affect the environment. So here, in this case, you can see that here the picture of the Sinhagad Institute here. Now here in Sinhagad Institute, you can see the clouds. And now specifically the clouds, that is, this is an indication that at the Sinhagad Institute, we have a collaborative program with the Pune Meteorological Department and our Sinhagad Institute. And that project is more than 3.5 crores of project we are implementing on the cloud seeding processes. You know that there are many more, sir is there, those who have worked in my institute, Sinhagad Institute, that is a 3.5 crore, 350 crore project is related to cloud seeding. And cloud seeding is specifically for, you know that Solapur district is a drought area. There are no rains there. And to study the rain, so we are working in collaboration with the meteorological laboratory from Pune. And that's why this is the cloud, they are shown, this cloud seeding is there. Now, in this particular presentation, I'm going to talk about the challenge of 21st century, Vikasit Bharat. You know that every day, when you just wake up, you see on the, radio news, TV news, and everything, whatever activities they are going on, they are related to the Vikasit Bharat. Our Honorable Prime Minister is very much concentrating on the Vikasit Bharat 2047. Can you tell me here, we have referred a number, Vikasit Bharat 2047. So why the 2047? Why not to 250 or why not to 350 or like that? So you have mentioned that the Vikasit Bharat 2047. Can anybody tell what is this 2047? Yes. So it means that India became the independence in 1947 and 2047. We are completing 100 years. And at that time, we wanted to go for Vikasit Bharat. I will explain you later on. Then science for that purpose, in order to make the Vikasit Bharat for develop, it is Sanshothanathan, that must be the Sanshothanathan Samriddhi Kade, specifically for the science and technology. And you know that the 21st century is the science of, nanoscience and technology. So I'll be concentrating on the nanotechnology, whatever breakthrough, now for your conference, breakthrough for sustainable development. I think these two words, I must congratulate the organizers for select these two words, sustainable and breakthrough is very, very important. Otherwise, it will just routine things. One doesn't know how many years it will take to become the Vikasit Bharat. So I must congratulate the organizer for selecting the name Breakthrough and Sustainable Development. So, and that is possible only with the nanoscience and nanotechnology, because 21st century is the nanoscience and technology development. And similarly, fourth point is very, very important, as I will explain you later, the silk fibroin, healthcare and well-being. And then lastly, I will discuss a silk fibroin based energy conversion, storage. And so specifically, before going the talk further ahead, in Srinagar Institute, we are carrying out the research, Center for Research and Technology Development. So these are the areas, scientific research, and our thrust is nanoscience and nanotechnology development. Energy security is very important. Specifically, when we are working on the energy security, we can see that the nuclear energy and the renewable energy, the two, were main thrust in our center. Similarly, the environment protection, save the earth is equally important. Technology development, healthcare, because cancer and SARS, CO2, and then, so these are the areas at present we are working on these things. Now, when you're talking about Vikasit Bharat 2047, that is voice of the youth. What do you mean by, why do you want to go for the Vikasit Bharat 2047? As I told you that we are complete 100 years. And for this Vikasit Bharat, why this is? Now, if you consider the countries all over the world, so these countries all over the world, they are classified in the three categories. And the three categories specifically, you know that at present, when you talk about the Vikasita Bharat, do you mean that the Bharat is not Vikasita at present? Why we are saying we wanted to go for achieve the target Vikasit Bharat 2047? Does it mean that presently we are not Vikasit? Are you not Vikasit? Then why this target for 2047 for Vikasit? Many answers, partly correct, not fully correct. My question is that when you're talking every year now, then Vikasit Bharat, my question is that are you not presently Vikasit? The answer is no. The no means whatever countries they are in the world, they're classified into three categories: developed, developing, and underdeveloped. And developed, developing, and underdeveloped. At present, we are in the second category, that is developing category. Developed category, I will come show you the picture later on. In the developed category, you can see picture here. What do you mean by developed, underdeveloped, and developing countries? So here you can see that how the human being is, operating. You can see this is the primitive man, is a collector and fungal man, and at the time we can modern industrial society. So these are how the progress of human being is took place in the past. So we have here you can see this to this. And when you look at this picture, look at carefully, there are the numbers given: 8.5, 20, 50, 100, 295, and 95. What are these numbers? These numbers, you can see that daily energy consumption per head megajoules. So it means that when the human being was in the primitive man, there was not much requirement of energy. You don't need much energy. These numbers, they are in terms of the energy values and the megajoules here. So when we were in the primitive age, we require only 8.5. There were not many, need for it, but presently we have such kind of thing. And it means that considering these things, you can see that based on the number, which I showed, the earlier figure from 9.5 to 905, and then we have seen that how the human being is from primitive man to the developed society. But here you can see that on the y-axis, you can human development index. And on the x-axis, annual per capita electricity used in kWh. So this concept of developing and underdeveloped countries, it is based on the energy consumption. Is higher the energy consumption, it means that you have more, you are enjoying more facilities, more comforts. So you need this. Earlier people, they don't need the transport. Now everybody is having the car and his own vehicles, and you are enjoying. It means that the lifestyle, the comfort of the human being, maybe 10 years before, and comforts of the human being. Now every professor is having the car, four-wheeler. It's very rare in my time to have even a professor on the campus coming with a bike was supposed to be a rich person. In the 2074, 84, when I was professor, so nobody was I was the only professor in that university having car. After vice chancellor and registrar, I was the only professor who was having the car. Comparatively, other professors, they are in bikes. And you should consider the need. But here you can see the developed index. So for that purpose, now you can see that number here, 0 to maybe 50,000, 14,000, 16,000 number is there. On this axis, it is the capita electricity kilowatt per hour. Considering the number of kilowatt hours consumed per human head, you can see that the maximum amount of energy consumed by the Canadian. Then US, Australia, Netherlands. So they are consuming the energy. This is the number they're consuming energy. And these countries, they are developed countries. And in case of the developed countries, because they need more energy, they're enjoying more facilities, more comforts, more atomization, and they need consuming more and more energy. And these countries, they are developed countries. In comparison to these things, let us see where is the India. You can see India is somewhere here. It means that we are consuming only just 1,000 kilowatt per hour. In comparison to Canada, America, 16,000, 14,000, these things far more. And they are developed country. And here we need only this. It means that they are enjoying, they are living with a great satisfaction, great facilities, enjoying it. And here in our country, we don't have much comforts because we need, that's why we need very small amount of only 1,000 kilowatt per hour as against 16,000 kilowatt hour. 16 times less comforts we are living here. And that's why our young generation, maybe all BTech student, MTech student, and even the very, very bright professors, after getting the education, everybody's dream is that I wanted to go abroad. I wanted to go America. I wanted to go Canada. I wanted to go US, because I'm getting more comforts, and that is the developed countries. And so our student government of India is spending maybe in order to make a postgraduate student, maybe MD, MS, or maybe MTech student, government is spending more than 60 lakhs, 70 lakhs rupees on per student. And that student, top student, maybe IIT top student, on whom the government has spent hundreds of lakhs of rupees, those students are going abroad. And India, there is a great loss to India. After spending 100 lakhs rupees one student, India has spent on that. They are going America, they are going Canada, and helping to those countries. And we are starving here, these things. So this is a great loss. And once the student talent goes outside, they do not want it to come back to India. And this is the case with me also. My son, Dr. Swapnil, after completion of his MD with the highest grade. Now he has shifted to Australia with large facility. He's my only son. I have a lot many property here. He has shifted there, but he doesn't want to come back here because he has got lot many facilities there. In comparison to the facilities he is getting now, he's a director of one of the medical institution there and getting a lot of funds. He has own bungalow. Government has given lot of things, and he doesn't want to come back. And it's a great loss. In a other person is a great loss to me also. Exactly similar is the case. Many of the parents, their kids go abroad and they do not want to come again. It's a great loss to the country. And that's why our Prime Minister decided that why not to have, because our own country be a developed country. At present, we are in the second category under the developed countries. Underdeveloped countries, Ethiopia, Congo, Pakistan, and these are the underdeveloped countries. And that's why if we become our developed country, we get to give the all facilities, then our talent may not wish to go abroad. Or even though some students, they go abroad, they will see that, oh, let us take some knowledge, earn some money and come back. So they will try to come back. And that's why the Vikasit Bharat, that's why we want to, our dream is, let us transform our country from Vikasit, from developing to the developed countries. And that is exactly concept of developed countries and this thing. For that purpose, the Vikasit Bharat 2047, you can see that presently, what is our status at present? So we have made some achievement. That is today, that is the fifth largest economy in the world. Earlier it was far, far lower, but we have the fifth. Then these are some of the achievements. 2027, third largest economy as GDP. 2047 poised to be US 30 trillion economy. So we are targeting, we want to become from this to this. And for that purpose, India has demonstrated quantum leap in some of the areas. No doubt, during the last 75 years or 80 years, India has achieved something, but still India wanted to achieve in order to make the Vikasit Bharat 2047. So these are some of the steps that India has taken over, because these are some of that is the Vikasit Bharat, Sankalpa Yatra, Amrit Kal Varsha, then Voice of the Youth. So these are already some of the steps government of India has targeted to transform from developing country to the developed country. And for that purpose, now here we can see that the understanding the Vikasit Bharat Sankalp Yatra. So these are some of the programs that we have key objectives decided in this thing. Now you can see that for that purpose, we have to work together. We have to come together, work together. And for that purpose, what are the steps to be taken? The administration, so there must be improvement to act as a facilitator. Then secondly, to create awareness among the students, specifically this young generation. We have to motivate the young generation. And then teachers also, it's a very role. Students, they also role. And that's why specifically this conference is very, very important to motivate. And that's why I must congratulate this Samstha or this Institute College for organizing to motivate the young generation, encourage, guide the teachers and go ahead, take this ek akela thak jayega, sati hath badana. That's why it's a very important to bring together on this. So these are, and at present statistics based on the parameters. So this considered from today status and 2047. So we have to shift from trillion to 8.7. So these are the number statistics they are like this thing. And for that purpose, you know that we have what are the targets when we think of the plan for the Vikasit Bharat 2047. So making the plan for the 2047. So these are the areas where are the targets. Top 10 problems for Vikasit Bharat 2047. It means that what are the areas when we make the science and technology road mapping. So while making the science and technology road mapping, we have to consider what are the top 10 problems for the top 10 issues where we have to consider, give the more weightage and work on these things. And that is first of all, energy, water, food, environment, poverty, terrorism, disease, education, democracy, population. These are the 10 problems where while making the science and technology road mapping, you have to consider all these parameters, these things. Then you can see that the first problem was the energy. You know that in case of the energy, that is, without energy, nothing can be. It is said that yatra shakti tatra jivanam. Wherever there is energy, there is a life. When there is no energy, no life. So while making the road mapping of the science and technology, specifically we have to go for Sanshodhanatun Samriddhi Kade. And when we want to go for Sanshodhanatun Samriddhi Kade, what kind of Sanshodhan, where is the area we have to concentrate on the first thing, and the first thing that we have to concentrate on the energy. When you talk about the energy, because you know that without energy, yatra shakti, tatra jivanam, wherever the energy, there is a life. When there is no energy, no life. So that's very important to work. So for that purpose, the energy independent India, we have to make the energy independent India. Presently, even after spending 80 years, 1947, and we are reaching now 2027, 26, 27, it means that after 80 years of the independence, are you really independence? Answer is no. Just told you. Are you becoming Vikasit? No, we are not Vikasit. In the similar fashion, if you ask the question, have you become the independent energy? Answer is no. The question is that this at present, whatever energy needs they are there, and energy supply that we are producing, we can see that even now, petrol, diesel, we are importing, we are not exporting. We have to import the petrol and diesel. And when we are importing the petrol and diesel, you know that we are spending a lot of money, and the prices of the petrol and diesel every year is continuously increasing. So when the prices of our petrol and diesel increasing every year, it means that every year our foreign currency, money is going outside, and we are giving more and more money to the other countries, and we are becoming, rather than becoming richest in the world, we are becoming, perhaps we may, if we do not take the measure, if we do not take such a conferences, we do not create the awareness among the young generation, perhaps we will become poorest one rather than the richest one. And for that purpose, it is very essential to concentrate on science and technology road mapping for the energy consumption for this thing. And for that purpose, let us give me a statistics. It may not be the correct statistics, but a relative statistics. So what is the energy conservation? There is all India power shortage, existing supply, existing demand, and shortage. So at present, we are not surplus, we are in the shortage. And due to shortage, whenever any shortage, immediately there is a agitation. People, they are not happy, and the government always say that there should not be shortage. They import to spend money. But when we import this money, the question comes from where to import. You know that at present, there is a quarrel between India and America, quarrel between India and Russia. When you stopped taking petrol, earlier we were taking the petrol and maximum things from the America, we were getting uranium-235 in America. America is happy. But when India stopped purchasing the uranium-235 of the America, and they started purchasing from Russia. So again, immediately Putin and Trump, they have gone against us. So for that purpose, it is very essential to remove the supply and what are the possible solutions for this thing. So when you plan the road mapping, science and technology road mapping, specifically for this thing, what steps we have to take it. So first step is that awareness campaign. Now, just like this conference, international conference, specifically on the technology, and then the sustainable development, sustainable technology. So it is a good thing that whatever lectures they are being given here, whatever topics they are being discussed here, at least they are creating the awareness among the young generation, how the young generation to go ahead, specifically for these technology colleges, because it's very important to motivate the student, not only taking the degree, but at the same time in the new education policy, some weightage is also given to the project research thing. And every other institution now they wanted to have the research institution. When I was made first time discussed with your vice president, we had long discussions and this thing, and they said that what are the tips that you want to give, and then they agreed that we will also have special separate research and technology development. So in addition to your degree courses and this thing. So for that purpose, so awareness, this thing, training to the industry at the same time, we consider industry, energy summit, energy norms, demonstration projects, awareness. So like that, this is for the energy in the similar fashion for this thing. And for that purpose, when you think of the energy, so you know that the sun is the main source of the energy to the earth. And here is the earth, you can get see, and for that purpose, how to run for the sun. So yatra shakti tatra jivana, run for the sun. So when we talk about the science and technology road mapping, we must give the concentration, give the more weightage on the energy, specifically, and that's too on the sun, solar energy. And so this is the area, this thing. And then you can see that when you make the sun energy, but then at the same time, you must see that must be sustained. Whatever progress you are making the solar energy or energy, it must be sustainable. It means that when you are making the whatever device make, it should not be this. So then you can know that when you are making the sun energy, the sun is there, you are getting radiation there, and when due to the environmental pollution, they are not going out. When the incoming radiation and outgoing radiation, when they differ, you know that there is a problem is there. And that's environmental is most problem. So and that can't be sustainable. So for that purpose, in order to make the sustainable, you must see that this thing. Then similarly, this thing there. At the same time, when we are specifically making this, presently we are depending on the non-conventional energy, conventional energy, which is the coal, oil, and gas. You know that there is a rising temperature and this. So when you make the development, in order to make it sustainable, we have to shift from the conventional source of energy to the renewable source of energy. That's the main thing there. And so science and technology roadmap for Viksit Bharat 2047, that is science and technology and roadmap are used in industry, you can see government and policy, academia, and then we have to go for these things. So for that purpose, there was one attempt was made earlier in the 2035, where science and technology roadmap was developed. And these are the 14 different areas where the efforts must be concentrated on research and technology development, these things. And then for this purpose, success comes with the teamwork. It is, one cannot work independently, but there must be a teamwork that we have to go ahead for this thing. And then for that purpose, specifically, as I told you that 21st century is the century of nanoscience and nanotechnology. Most of the problems, they are being solved with the making use of the nanotechnology, this thing. So specifically at present, the photovoltaics, where solar energy is converted into electrical energy. And so most of the places, you know that the solar panels, they are fitted comparative to earlier. So the government is given. Then photocatalytic reduction. So these are the areas where the nanotechnology is being used to in the roads, science and technology road mapping. So these are the areas. Specifically, when we talk about the sustainable development at present, specifically the mobility 5.0. I'm glad that at the Sinhagad Institute, Solapur, our Department of Electrical Energy, Department of Electrical Engineering, they organized the Mobility 5.0, and that was specifically based on the vehicles, electric vehicles. And these electric vehicles, so they are using electricity, and okay, they are not using petrol, and then there's no pollution. But then in that particular 5 days program, I was one of the key speakers. And in that key speaker, I pointed out that, okay, it's fine. We are using the electrical vehicles, no petrol and diesel. But in order to operate the electrical vehicles, you have to charge the electric vehicles. And you need the electricity. And where from that electricity comes? So it means that you are burning the coal, thermal power, you are burning the coal, producing the steam, and then you have generate electric generator, and then this electricity is used for your electricity. It means that there is a, you cannot stop the pollution, these things. So for that purpose, is a very essential step the electrical vehicles rather than using the convey this electricity, you have to go for the electric device specifically with here you can see the advances in materials for solid fuel cells that use vehicles, develop the technology which will use on the fuel cell. Now here it is what is the fuel cell? You can see that here it's very simple structure. You can see that one electrode, another electrode in between this electrolyte there. And what is coming here? Hydrogen from one side, and then oxygen from the other side, oxygen from other side, and hydrogen oxygen coming together, and you are getting the electricity. So here, what you use for this thing? You are using only hydrogen and oxygen, and where from the hydro, and then when you consume this, what we are getting outside product is nothing but H2H plus oxygen, you get H2O. In case of petrol, diesel, you are burning petrol and diesel and producing CO2. That is the not environment friendly. So instead of that, you can use hydrogen and oxygen, and then you can, so this is the technology with which your electric vehicle, or mobility 5.0 must be shifted from the conventional to regular, this to the new type of that technology has to be developed. And here what we are using, hydrogen and oxygen. And where from the, generally whatever technology you are developing, that technology, raw material must be sufficiently available. In many cases, you have developed the technology, but there is no raw material. But here, what material you require? You need hydrogen and oxygen, and you are getting the, Now, when you think of the hydrogen, if you look at the periodic table, in the first element of the periodic table is, if you look at the periodic table, what is the first element of the periodic? Hydrogen. And it is the lightest element. At the same time, lightest element, at the same time, hydrogen maximum efficient. So when you're talking about the, launching of the vehicles and launching of the satellites and all things, the fuel used in those devices is nothing but the hydrogen. And this hydrogen, which is used, which is environment friendly, which is strong, very, very, very efficient, and this hydrogen comes from, that we look at the earth as 3/4 part of the earth is occupied with the water. So no question of raw material. And only thing that we have to develop, we have to give the projects to specifically our technology students, split up, give the maximum number of students, let them work on splitting up the water into hydrogen and oxygen. So let them develop the source, hydrogen and oxygen from the splitting of the water. And for that purpose, let them develop the technology, let them develop even material science, maybe mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, electronics, all civil engineering. Let them concentrate on producing your own hydrogen and oxygen at the cost of the hydrogen. And that is the technology, new thrust of the technology must be developed for this thing. Now here you can see that what is the technology developed. That is, you can see that here it is though 2 electron oxygen hydrogen, and here, okay, you can see that the hydrogen comes, oxygen comes, and then you can get the H2O of the technology that must be developed. So for the young generation, maybe if the student, those who are attending this conference, let them work, let them take a message that for a sustainable development or for a quick breakthrough development, let us concentrate on the splitting of the hydrogen, the oxygen, and specifically by making use of the solar energy. And that is possible with the thing that can be the message for this thing. For that purpose, there are many more advantages. एक 10 मिनिटं अगोदर सांगा तुमचं कोणा पण बघू हु इज मॉनिटरिंग फक्त तुमचं मला टाइम आय शुड नॉट क्रॉस युअर टाइम तुम्ही कोणते सांगा अगोदर. सो दिस इज द advantage of the fuel cell So when we make such devices, so you can see the direct energy conversion. So no, the thing is there, no moving parts in that fuel cell. Then it is quiet, no noise and all the things. So these are the areas where. Similarly, what are the material characteristics of the fuel cell? Requirements of electrode characteristic and requirements of electrolyte. For only thing, so these are the areas where we can give the projects to our MTech student or BTech student, develop the material specifically for suitable for a electrode for the fuel cathode and anode for the fuel cell. At the same time, we have to go for the technology for the things. And this is another area. You can see that the opening principle of SOFC, solid oxide fuel cells, so these are the technologies specifically in science and technology. Road mapping, when you decide the road mapping, it means that all the colleges in such kind of lectures must be, advised to go for such kind of thing. So this is the technology, cathode, anode, and all the materials, these things, they are there. So advantage of solid oxide fuel, there are so many advantages given here in this thing. And then new developments, solid oxide fuel, specifically in the technical issue, maybe the high temperature solid oxide fuel cell, intermediate fuel cell, and single chamber fuel cell. Specifically, when you go for the Viksit Bharat 2047, as I told you that how the government should plan for Viksit Bharat 2047. Because when you wanted to make a Viksit Bharat, so all people in the country, oh, that's fine. Thank you very much. So all the people in the country, we must go for such kind of thing. So these are in farmer, they're using the biogas, and in biogas, you know that HCO, and you can develop the technology, and making use of the fuel cell, such kind of technologies, they are already available. It is not new technology. Only thing that it is not costly, it is not conventional, it cannot be affordable, and for that purpose, we have to go for the transportation. And that's why, rather than such a complicated technology, we have to see that tuza hai tupasi parituzaga chukalashi. It means that the biomass is already with you in everywhere. The biomass is there. So rather than making the solar energy and all the things, very, very complicated technology, one can go for, such kind of biomass energy. And with the biomass energy, you know that the biofuel, we must concentrate in your road science technology, you must concentrate on the biodiesel from the Zatropa, and biomass, one can take this in. Similarly, biofuel, maybe the bioethanol, biodiesel, these are the priority areas in case of the roadmap development. Similarly, biogas is already available because 70% people, they stay because in order to make the Viksit Bharat 2047, last year, with the advice of Dr. Mashalkar and Dr. Bhatkar, MIT Pune, they organized a 3-day roundtable conference of the top 100 scientists in the country to advise the government how the government should go for the Viksit Bharat to make the science and technology road mapping. Incidentally and fortunately, I was one of the members of top 100 scientists participated in that Pune meeting. And in that meeting, I pointed out that, you see, consider that India as a whole, 70% people, they are in the rural area, unless and until you concentrate your research on the rural area, and most of them are farmers, and for these farmers, specifically, you have to go for this technology development. So this is the thing. You know that in case of the farmers, biogas plant and nothing, so this is methane farming. It means that in future, the all petrol pump will be replaced by such kind of methane farming. It means that most of the farmers, there are the cows and buffaloes. Now, one cow produces methane gas equal to 225 liters of petrol. So multiply 225 petrol, multiply by 100 rupees price of the petrol. So it means that one cow, just out of this dung, you can produce this much amount of energy, and perhaps in future, maybe by the 2047, when you go for 2047, every village, a farmer will be having his petrol pump. Rather than petrol pump will be replaced by such kind of technology. And so that's a very, very interesting. When we talk about the road mapping, we must include such a technology and encourage your BTech student, MTech student going for this thing. So similarly, hydrogen energy is another area, wind energy is another area. Concentrate on this thing, and then very, very interesting, the superconductors for our energy future. I'm glad that there is a big project, specifically superconductivity is one of the highest but complicated technology. That is, we can produce the energy, superconductors for our energy future. And this is the article law, that is law of conservation of energy. When superconductors are put to energy, that is commercial use, it would be possible to travel in a car from Hyderabad to Mumbai just in 1 liter of petrol. It means that you can make the device in such a fashion, 250 meter, maybe 400 kilometer can be traveled in 1 liter of petrol when the vehicles are made with the superconductors. And that is possible. But the only thing that, unfortunately, when I was in the Shivaji University, professor of the PhD department, we had a big project specifically on development of new type of superconductors and this thing. And then we had a big project, maybe the seven different countries, 10 scientists, and from India, I was representing India in that particular thing, specifically for this point of view. So this is one of the areas. Then similarly, wind energy. So granted, so then again, this is another nuclear energy, nuclear power station is a very, very interesting energy resource. It means that you don't need nothing. You need only uranium-235, and uranium-235 you just irradiate with the one small electron, do the process of diffusion, tremendous amount of energy generated, and during the process of diffusion, you can see that here is you can see that, oh, here is the explosion. The uranium-235 is producing beryllium and krypton, and you can get this tremendous, and this tremendous of energy is produced steam energy, and that steam energy is used. So rather than thermal power station, rather than burning coal, they are using nuclear fission and producing the electric energy 2047. But this particular uranium-235, which is required, we are importing. We don't have uranium-235. We are importing, and earlier America was giving this thing. And when 1974, when Indira Gandhi was the prime minister, she made the first nuclear fusion in Rajasthan and then America stopped all the fusion. From 1974 to 2000, till Vajpayee was the prime minister, they didn't give supply. But with the efforts of Anil Kakodkar and other people, India agreed to this. And when they agreed to these things, then we again initiated this. And first biggest nuclear power station in 2000 was planned by the government of India at Jaitapur. And at that time, I was the vice chancellor of the D.Y. Patil University. But when they were planned, there's a big agitation was there. Because at Jaitapur, they objected that, oh no, many more people they have to remove this thing. But then I made this was a big project. I myself was the principal investigator. And another, I'm glad that this particular conference has been sanctioned by BRNS, funded by BRNS, Board of Research in Nuclear Science. So for that, BRNS, so Chowgaonkar was another. So then things at that time, there was a lot of agitation. Agitation was there. And at that time, the question was that if nuclear power is safe or not. And as a vice chancellor, they took the interview by the question and answer, the DNA English newspaper, and they were asking me 4 or 5 questions. And then my conclusion is that it is safe ahead with the Jaitapur. And later on, then declared, BRNS people declared, look, whenever BRNS people try to defend, they were saying that, oh, this is not correct, you are not correct, because you are taking the salary from the government. That's why you are talking on behalf of the government. The Vice Chancellor of D.Y. Patil is not taking salary from the government. And then I'm saying, oh, it is safe. And that's why they agreed for these things. And that was the thing, there was condition. At the same time, so another very important area where India can go ahead in science and technological mapping, that is due to the sericulture. That is, that when India became independent in 1947, Mahatma Gandhi developed rural technology development. And that is specifically from the sericulture. These things, they are there. And sericulture, that silk fiber oil. Silk fiber oil is produced by the saris and silk clothes. And you know that in case of silk saris, one can purchase the silk sari for 10,000 rupees and even 1 lakh also. It's a very same material, same silk material that can be produced in different ways. the long chain molecule, the why there is thing. For that purpose, the government of India established a major component. But from that, there is a recent last 4 or 5 years, there is a big, large research is there. And in that research, how the silk sarees can be utilized for different applications. And for that different applications, you can, this thing, silk fibrine nanocomposite is based on energy conversion technology. Specifically, the silk which was developed when I was the vice chancellor of Deoghar University, we produced a silk material rather than a silk sarees. We produced this material specifically for electronic device and all the things. So this is the thing, piezoelectric material. This is a very interesting material. Here you don't need to run the produce electricity. You don't need water, you don't need petrol, you don't need anything. Only thing for the piezoelectric material. And rather than making use silk for silk sarees, one can make use of silk for producing the energy. And how the silk can be produced with the energy. So that is based on piezoelectric effect is there. Similarly, the triboelectric effect there. With these devices, at present we have started some work in Siangadi, Solapur under the CRTD program. That is, run the vehicle without petrol, without water, simply by making use of the silk fibrine. For that purpose, one can produce the silk, one can make the waste silk and produce such kind of devices, these things. Specifically, here another very interesting, in Viksit Bharat 2047, specifically from silk saree, we can take silk, waste silk saree, produce such kind of nitrogen doped material, rather than using silk. You can see here, within a fraction of a second, you can boil the water. You can, boil the water. And so rather than using coal and gas, one can make such kind of devices with such kind of things. Silk fibrine, graphene oxide, the material. Specifically, one can. So this is one of the devices that we have designed, a fabric designed, and we are in the process of testing of this material. So these are the things they are there. Similarly, say based this. At the same time, supercapacitors, they are there. We can make use of supercapacitors. Silk fibrine, potential silk fibrine in various electronic devices. Henceforth, perhaps specifically, all the devices, even the sensors or generator, can be made. So rather than using silk for silk sarees or silk clothes, now can use this silk for this thing. And for that purpose, presently, if you develop this technology, farmers, government as India has given 100% subsidy to the farmers, those who are making silk, not silk, but silk cocoons. And what is the silk cocoon? Silk cocoon is nothing but mulberry plantation. Plant the mulberry plants and then feed it to the silkworm, and then silkworm eats that leaves and produce silk cocoons. And presently, farmers, government is given 100% subsidy, and then producing the silk cocoons, 500 rupees per year. But if you develop all these technologies, producing the silk sarees, you can produce all these things. Then at present, 1 kilo silk, 1 kilo cocoon sold by 500 rupees. But if you make your student work on these projects, develop such devices, then 1 kilo cocoon will produce maybe 50 lakhs rupees device. That is a great thing to happen. And that is necessary for the Viksit Bharat 2047. If you people, maybe your professors, take such kind of message that we wanted to concentrate for the Viksit Bharat, Viksit Khede. Our students, most of the students are coming from this, so we can go for these things, they are there. And similarly, so these are the things they are there. Similarly, from silk sarees, silk fibrine, you can see the silk is there, and you can produce all body organs. When I became the vice chancellor of the D.Y. Patil University first time in 2006, I gave the presentation to my management. That is the vice chancellor, that is D.Y. Patil University is a medical university. Actually, it was a 25-year-old medical college, transformed into just like deemed to be university or like your college. And I became the vice chancellor first. I gave the message. I told my management, look, I wanted to make D.Y. Patil University a medical shop of body organ. It means that in an accident, suppose you have lost left leg, go to that particular medical shop, give the dimension of the right leg. After 15 days, go to the shop and fit your left leg like that. And for that body organs, and this is the example that is based on the silk fibrine. You can make all these parts of the body organ. Silk fibrine has not only applications in electrical, electronics, or maybe the clothes, but it has applications, even medical applications, physically medical body organs, they are there. And these are the different parts, they are there. And that's why we had made some wind dressing material. Specifically, otherwise, we developed a wind dressing material. Presently, the wind dressing material is used by cotton, but rather than cotton, you make the silk, then dope, zinc oxide, and then one can produce the such kind of things, these things. So these are the material. Similarly, at present, whatever silk sarees you are getting, you don't, no seller give the guarantee what about color. When you are purchasing the saree, a particular color, but how long that color will remain, one cannot give the guarantee. And so natural color develop. So this is possible with the photonic applications. It means that for the silkworm, mulberry, you can give the different colors there itself. The silkworm will with this mulberry, this color, and you will get natural color. 100% guarantee of the color of the silk saree. This is the technology are being developed at the Singaganj Institute. Friends, what I am explaining here, all these things are being given in the research work that have been reported here to silk fiber oil, advanced applications and research by Shivaji H. Pawar, published by America, Nova Science publisher, USC. So this book has been published, application published by Nova Science publisher in 2023, just before 3 years before. And this book has been, okay, and all whatever I have explaining here, all these things they are given. This can be very good technology, specifically for technology students. And at the same time, during the COVID period, now whatever I'm talking about, the mulberry is a mine of gold. Which means that if you develop a device from the mulberry leaves, so it will give a very, very large, costly, value-added product for the farmers. And that kind of book, this mulberry. And then in COVID application, we have collaboration with one of the Ayurvedic industry, and we have produced a device that is medicinal plants and the nanotechnology applications in medicinal plants. That is, we have developed a product with which at that time I was in Baramati with the help of one of the Ayurvedic doctor and Ayurvedic industry. We produced nasal oil drops. The nasal oil drops with the help of Bhasma. And we treated more than 1,500 patients in that particular area with the help of this. In that case, the Bhasma and that Bhasma, but Bhasma is the Ayurveda, it is the origin of the India, but foreign people, they do not agree because the Bhasma prepared by the one person, Bhasma prepared by the other person, there is no reproducibility. And for that purpose, we have developed the theory that it can be, one can develop bio-nanocomposites. And this is the book published for nanotechnology application, medicinal plants, and there. So this book has been published 2 years, just now a year before. It's edited by Shivaji Pawar, and this is published by Cambridge College Press, UK. Earlier book was published by Nova Science publisher, America. Now this book has been published recently coming, medicinal plants and nanobiocomposes based on our COVID experience. And then similarly, now whatever I'm talking about, the 21st century nanoscience and nanotechnology is the base of the 21st century. And this particular book, that is the application of nanotechnology to meet the progress and person nanoscience today, Shivaji Pawar, is published by Nova Science publisher in 2020. So it means that, as I told you, that the Taj Mahal can't be built overnight. There must be continuous and sequentially. So first of all, when I was Shivaji University, I did a lot of work in material science. Some of the students from engineering, they have completed, mechanical students, civil engineering students, they have completed their PhD degree out of 78 students. Some of the students, they are from civil engineering. Some of the students, they are from mechanical engineering. Some of the students from chemical physics. Some of the students from chemistry. All kind of students in my group, because when I was vice chancellor, as a vice chancellor, I have full authority, interdisciplinary, and I introduced a concept of 4 guide system. For a student, 4 guide. 1 student from medicine, 1 from the chemistry, physics, engineering, and so. But students are working on the same area, and so we can give them the degrees on the thing. So that could happen. This thing. So this is the conference, recent progress in silk and silk fiber and electronic technology. So this is the international based on these things. 2 years before, we have organized a Singaganj Institute and the CRTD, two international conference. First international conference we organized here, that is the program silk fibroin based on silk electronics. So this was the conference, and based on the conference, so successful. Agriculture minister, they told, sir, you are organizing another conference. So they gave all funds, maybe three, sir was there at that time. So we organized very conference. So funds there, no problem. Funds they are there. Only ideas and working people and the teamwork is very essential for this thing. So this is another conference. So this is whatever I am doing. It is based on, this is my, the call in NBN college, working under CRTD, because we are following a group, and these are my PG, UG research scholars. There are 1,500 students. Out of the 1,500 students, I'm selecting only 40 students. And to select out of the 40 students, these students, they are working with me for this thing, and for selecting this thing. So this is my PhD, as I told you, 78 PhD students from D.Y. Patil University, 26, 52 students from Shivaji University, and so these are all my PhD students. Most of them, there are some of the vice chancellors, some of the principals, some of the directors, and all the things. So this is the thing with this thing. I have already over time. So thank you very much for patient listening.
Okay, so respected chair, distinguished dignitaries, faculty members, participants, and dear colleagues. It is my privilege to propose the vote of thanks for today's insightful session entitled Science and Technology Roadmapping with Sustainable Developments for Viksit Bharat 2047. We are deeply grateful to Dr. S.H. Pawar sir, who is emeritus scientist and former vice chancellor for Dr. D.Y. Patil University, for delivering a truly thought-provoking and vision-driven address. His vast academic leadership, scientific expertise, and policy-level experience gave depth and credibility to the discussion on sustainability as a cornerstone of India's journey towards becoming a developed nation by 2047. Dr. Pawar's emphasis on long-term planning, responsible innovation, self-reliant development, and sustainable systems resonates strongly with the national vision of Viksit Bharat. His insights have not only enriched our understanding, but have also challenged us as academicians, researchers, and citizens to contribute meaningfully to nation building. We sincerely thank him for generously sharing his time, wisdom, and valuable perspectives with us. I also extend my appreciation to the organizing committee, coordinators, volunteers, and technical team for their dedicated efforts in making these sessions successful. A special word of thanks to all participants and audience for your active presence and engagement. With this, I once again express our heartfelt gratitude to Dr. S.H. Pawar sir and thank everyone for being part of this enriching session. There is a small announcement. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. There is a small announcement regarding tea break. The tea will be served outside the seminar hall. We'll take only 5 minutes break for tea and again gather here for valedictory session. Thank you all. Students should not leave the class.
the precious presence of respected guest of honor, and scientist, Professor Dr. S.H. Kumar, who was a very experienced but you to his conference. It is a matter of pride to recognize these people of our relatives. We say more welcome to Honorable Hossein Gupta, Public Education Society, Literary Leadership, Continuous Discussion Academic Excellence and Education Leadership. Secretary and Managing Director, Public Education Society, for support education in promoting research and innovation. Dr. District Secretary, Public Education Society, student presence and insightful guidance and the value to this academic year. Our sincere Dr. Abhishek, Principal, College of Engineering and Research, Professor Anthony Gomez, Principal, College of Engineering, Principal, College School, to their leadership and commitment to the official role in the academic environment of our institute. So, encourage the dedicated efforts of the Honorable work in organizing this conference successfully. So truly grateful to all the leaders on the dais, thanking us with their presence and being a head force in making this conference a grand success. Professor Kaustama, University of University of the Private Education. Over to you. Please very honored and privileged to introduce our chief guest, Professor Dr. Sally Kalarkar, an internationally recorded scientist, academic teacher, institutional builder. Professor Sally Kalarkar is currently serving as the Director, Center for Research and Technology Development at Singapore Institute, Singapore. And he is also the Research Director of the Institute. He is an academic scientist of CSR and distinguished professor and former vice chancellor of Tirupati University, Gurgaon. Professor Sally Kalarkar, academic journey is truly inspiring. With direct roles, he has served as professor and head of the Department of Physics, Director of DCUT, Minister of the University, of Science, and coordinator of the School of Energy Studies at Science University, Gurgaon. He is also a visionary founder and director of the Multidisciplinary and Interdisciplinary Research Center. Minister and the Academic Coordinator, Singapore Institute, Singapore, and Educational Society, Gurgaon. Significantly strengthening Indian research ecosystem. Professor Dr. Sally Kalarkar has made important contributions for resource development in science and technology. He has successfully guided 78 PhD scholars, including 52 at Singapore University and 96 at Tirupati University, and continues to mentor doctoral, postdoctoral, UG and PhD researchers, having more than 60 active researchers. Very helpful. Extraordinary. Over 1,000 research publications, 40 postdoctorals, 50 medical books, and 12 collected papers. And in addition of his global research impact, he has been featured among the top 2% scientists worldwide. He has served as visiting professor and scientist at numerous universities and research institutions across the globe. Professor Dr. Sally Kalarkar research work covers a wide range of important fields such as statistics, material science, science, and medicine, and technology, atmospheric nanoscience, agricultural nanotechnology, and agriculture. All these areas strongly supported for the sustainable development. Most recently, he has edited two significant scholarly books, which published the British Scholar published in UK, reflecting his commitment to integrating traditional knowledge with modern science. Once again, ultimately, I have to professional YouTube and Nicholas, the president of Catholic Education Society, or to consider our chief guest on the village of the church character. Ladies and gentlemen, the conference would be incomplete without taking our feedback. So, in the conversation for the feedback, the candidates and the experience, suggestion, and reflection of the scholars. The School of Pharmacy at University of Oxford.
Respected guests and all the participants. We have enjoyed the technologies for sustainable development from last 2 days. And I am the fellow of the PhD. I have also my work the area of the cancer and presented here. So through this 2 days, I have observed the different nature and what we say the corporate specific here and place like a sample and say wonderful for me. All activities we have been connected and the clients and all aspects, especially the program and possibility is very good. It's simple but great. As I management open and those who are part of this team in this many events that have to be performed. As well as I really express such a nice also. And I think the thanks to high respected guru, professor, I don't know this opportunity to join in this.
we came to Colorado for the learning to this implementing papers. And the thankful that we had another translation share. And our organizing and developing associate professor for the state of the policy. When I came in this campus, that all the people that are working even yesterday. And we have to do an environment. We have started evaluation. We most papers which are found under the legacy. The amount that we can have a presented solutions. And we have also added to the guideline. Discipline was found everywhere. Apart from that, whatever hospitality you are providing, you will always be not even better. It's nice. I want to organize a international conference in the class. Conference people have lots of energy planning and teamwork. So I appreciate the organizing committee. The management, they have given what type of video and what type of employees, they have the faculty and work, we can see the result that the teamwork, the guidance of your principal, masters, open there. Stations, very nice international conference. This now we have one day. So, whatever the researchers suggestions. So, instead of suggestion, I will request you to organize such type of conference in future. I would like to mention here. I just came to meet Madam TV. And unfortunately, I have the opportunity to meet the Shivaji professor. So, in the meeting, the taken his lectures. I indicated that the opportunity to attend his lecture. The inspiration professor at the age of 78 years, I was 78 students. And other contributions, as mentioned by Madam in his introduction, that we want to repeat again. Yesterday, it was not possible for me to present for the inauguration. And I invited me. And I'm sorry, yesterday it was not possible for me. But today I got the opportunity. And we are confirming the different function and observing the things. Observing the environment, it is a really very friendly environment, measurably environment, and we have to appreciate. And all credit goes to the teamwork, and he wasn't there over there and that. So once again, I'm thankful to the management. Maybe to also give you opportunity for us, participants, and the other candidates to gather conference or any other type of activities which is specific to the academics, activities, especially participating in academic school hour. So, thank you.
All the people have to try to execute see and also contacting me in the social media, participating on publisher, international publisher. Otherwise, to the papers, they do use this to participants especially that UG students are presented in almost all the UG students. So, very much better research culture here in the institute. That is the main aspect when we are going towards the teaching further. So, I don't know. Also, this contrast to yesterday says from the importance of the very great master. What is this only happened very best because speakers platform where researchers this as well as development. These confidence is successfully brought together experts, researchers, and academicians. We are feedback from the other colleges. From that feedback, we are getting the more satisfaction, and from that we are having the more inspiration to do the next conference here. So, I'm very happy to see the staff. I see one very interface, engineering, science, and technology. Together, and contribute to the global happiness, energy, environment, and sustainable development. Happiness and happiness included in the underwater umbrella. So, in that umbrella, we are conducted the international conference here. So, whatever the coordination between the different teams, that is organizing team, also that is our management, our guest, speaker, the different professionals. Whatever the delegates are there, the participants are there. Managing the different feedback from all the, and from that we are getting the more energy to do all the programs very successfully. I am thankful to all of you. Thank you. I invite our respected principals to address the gathering and share their thoughts on the conference and its outcomes.
Respected chief guest, Dr. Shiva dignitary from the diet, distinguished speaker, delegation, we report this international conference and express my sincere appreciation to all those speakers, researchers, and participants for their valuable contributions and active work. The discussions and presentations over this session have truly enriched our academic and research pursuit. I sincerely thank the organizing committee Auditors and auditors efforts making this control great success. Such international platforms promote knowledge sharing, integration, and innovation, which are essential for academics. I hope the insights given here will lead to the meaningful future with this, I can give the confidence person to be concluded. I think about how the best shape forward and the results. Respected individual on the seeing the same experts, colleagues, and even every member. The last 2 days are matters and benefited immensely from these discussions, balance perspective, and meaningful academic thing. I sincerely thank all the speakers and the delegates for asking for contributing to the success of this international conference. I also welcome Dr. Isaac Pawar, Ms. Thompson, the secretary to students and segregated not a joke. It is something that we are very proud of. Thank you, sir, for raising the occasion. This is a difficult elevations and interaction with several experts. One part that has very good, very strong. The future of institutions like ours will not be sustained by a teaching level. Teaching will always remain our foundation, but the world of higher education is evolving rapidly. Knowledge today is increasingly evaluated not only by how it is taught, but by how deeply it is understood, on the limitations of real-world problems, and how much impact they evaluate with fields. One aspect that stood out during yesterday's Vice Chancellor's address was the open direction of his duty, despite having significant administrative responsibility. This perspective was deeply rooted in technical understanding, application, and analysis. That itself was a powerful reminder that leadership in higher education must remain connected to substantive expertise. It includes that autonomy is not built by formal status. It is accountability and responsibility to focus on depth, relevant and meaningful outcomes, while remaining confident in the academic framework. If we genuinely want to grow, not just for accreditation or compliance, but for long-term sustainability, we must first become strong in our subjects. The human resources, medical industry interaction, and education cannot happen unless there is genuine subject ownership. Therefore, as an institution, our next phase will be very simple and field focused. It will be each subject expert to combine our academic efforts. All our academic activities, whether faculty development programs, empirical courses, FPC room, workshop, conferences, or any other learning engagements, must align with this objective. Each activity should contribute to strengthening individual subject expertise and long-term ownership, not just participation. This is a journey, but we have to achieve balance with it. Let us consciously move from activity to capability, from exposure to expertise, and from participation to ownership. This is how strong academic ecosystems can be agreed. Before I conclude, I would like to place on record my special appreciation to Dr. Vijayaram Sesarana and Dr. Sarita Somunima. They have the main and co-convener of this conference. They have vision and vigilance education, having instrumental in navigating and conducting this conference so deeply. And I think that also the entire organization covered educated. Once again, thank you to all our guests, people who participate, and we have a success.
Principal of the college, engineering college, secretary, principal of pharmacy college of the Professor, the principal of the school, the president of the party, the committee of the Congress, the Sensible, distinguished, very basic, very gentleman. And the understand, we can always say messages, and methodology characters, and could get an authority to make the vice president, as a prince and plan, intellectual discussions, and other spending the 2 minutes, I came to know that most of it is not only the vice president, but most of it being the company and president person. Usually, really there, I remember that we had to go. Only there, they come to the side. All of the things that we come together, you can let it come together. Yes, all of the things you are, you have to regular, it's good. And certainly, these institutes, this is taken one to the law, good. The leadership of the government for itself. The committee secretary and quality. Rule the different departments. I'm glad to know, see, community, in the lab, the academy, here also. And this is infrastructure, it was said that correct. I don't know if I had said it. I go, okay. I go and I describe how I because I'm going to other things. I can see that. I'm going to describe how everybody really describe how
मार्गदर्शन केलेले आणि अभिमान असलेलं व्यक्तिमत्व शिवाजी प्रवास ज्यांच्याकडून मी बऱ्याच दिवसापासून ऐकत होतो त्यांच्याबद्दल ऐकत होतो परंतु प्रत्यक्ष कधीतरी त्यांची माहिती जवळपास चर्चा झाली समाजाची गरज होईल परंतु त्यांनी अतिशय चांगल्या ठिकाणी आपल्याला this is Samaran very very clear. This is another this is another program that the company cinema must be compliant with. This is another ini pasti bisa. Jadi saya berbeda dengan saya ini itu bermasalah dengan desa dengan ini itu berbeda. Jadi kami kita berusaha melakukan ini berbeda. Jadi berbeda. Jadi harusnya kami ini. Jadi kalau dari kami itu ini yang terlalu sendiri. Pasti di luar dalam sekolah berbeda. Kalau kami berkomunikasi saya ini sebagai orang. Jadi kalau mengenai di konteks di negara lain bisa mengalami stres. Kalau kita anak betul dari dalam ini juga saya pernah jadi sebenarnya kita ini adalah banyak bentuk bentuk ini loh ini masuk ke dalam jadi itu perlu dipakai seperti itu jadi sebenarnya ini सगळ्या गोष्टी घालून संस्कृतीमध्ये कला हवा agriculture असेल किंवा तुमचे mechanical असेल किंवा astronomical असेल असे बरेचसे लोक सुद्धा करत आहे असे लोक करायचे आपल्या मार्गावर आहेत की ते लोक
It is important to recognize excellence for deviation in research. Research is a best way of having a salary.
Somebody to kindly come forward as the name are announced. Because the information and our speakers are secondary. Secondary is 191 Officer Hashim Zainab. Technology, February 272. So the basically between manufacturing industry for University moving toward the end of this 2 days event, most international conference of the professional development and it's a shorter movement in ICPT is the 2K25. I mentioned here 2K25 because We have decided with the permission of children that we will continue to similar. If we continue, we will continue this kind of workshop. So before proceeding towards the book of hand, I would like to overview the purpose. So this today conference we have organized for 23rd and 24th of December 2025. We designed the institute and given the chance of being married. That they answer asked to me, can you conduct national conference? This is a very language. The challenges which will come over here. Now, I should go forward. Take that challenge and go on. Accordingly, around January of 2023, we started preparation. All has come that on what topic we can conduct. Conference on the particular topic that we discuss is the issue. Members in the institute will not get the students in the institute will not get the video. That was the alignment. We started discussing and we concluded that we have to go to the signal areas. The next question was how to conduct. In the sense, whether online, offline. If we conduct online, what are the challenges? What are the challenges in online? All of the discussions covered. And we concluded we go for the hybrid mode. This is most important people participate as a we started the history of this conference and started probably challenges, different challenges people faced. But every challenge has been handled by management and supported by management. And that's why we come to this. How do we come to this? we have progressed with the information from the national and our focus has been towards the management and organizing that training and unfortunately between mismanagement happened in the technical sessions. So that is also very available and advanced we will plan and we will this will not happen in the future. Research is needed for the component. I would like to say about you that we can start with the local progress. The identification with the student, and then we start working on and we can convert it into projects and we will be successful to create this engagement as a project here. What is the just only positive approach from our side. And our team will work on that. The actual certificate to management. Another thing that I want to mention over here, Axel has asked to do recommend notice regularly and development support for the faculty members and students. And I have prepared a circulator among the students and faculty members. Remember that notice that whoever is interested to develop the goal and the business, we get the support from the management. And that is not happening from our end. We support for the students understand money and also we are having more success. So these two is very in the upcoming years and we are going back. This is the time to work hard, not only on the technical but also on the research and that we will do in the upcoming days. So this was a very different cases we have applied for support, but you know that this certain record is required. So this was our first international conference, and they were hesitating whether the people are going to be organized really or not. And that's why we had come up with student. But now we have created a very competent website through which the organizer, the sponsors, we get to know how we put international conference was happening in this institute and definitely they were supporting the conference. Then one more thing I would like to tell you that Mr. Pradeep Kumar from USA, he was the keynote speaker, and he said he's from the Nokia industry. He said that so we have given 1 hour and yesterday after commission on his job, he said that let us know by testing at least the same carbon so many transfers. He said that whatever our going to program, please utilize it for the next conference and next conference such as many conferences. Now we come to what we common time. It is the biggest restless and deep stage of the gratitude to our institute management members. Honorable Sri Kumar Rubna, Honorable Bhavani Rubna, Honorable Dr. Sanjay Director, Honorable Sri Minister, who is leadership guidance and constant encouragement to explore in shaping this conference and easily is a successful execution. With the support and encouragement throughout the planning and execution of this event, we will be successful to conduct this event. Thank you, sir. Thank you, all. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to our distinguished guests, Dr. Kavanakai, Dr. Nidhi Pastor, sir, Dr. Subhash Kawasar, for graciously accepting our invitation and helping us with the link and the of knowledge, honoring this conference with their distinguished presence. Thank you, especially thank you all the principals of this institution. Cooperation. Board of Conference Steering Committee, Organizing Committee, Organizing Committee members, Conference Commitment and rewards. I also express thanks to all the keynote speakers and technical persons for their valuable time with us. This committee appreciation for our co-conference team. Professor Jason Mane, Professor Mark Subashi, Professor Jyoti Kingle, Professor Sinha Pawar, Professor P. Physics, valuable convenience contributions from Professor Gopal, Professor Victory, Professor Encourage, and I. Who supposed to be organization of this event? This is an initiation explained to our Mr. Roma Personal, Mr. Muni, Mr. Rasul Party, Mr. Saleh, Mr. Hasan Haro, and his team, Mr. Kumar, Mr. and their team, coordination and behind the scenes support. I acknowledge the dedication of our faculty coordinators, volunteers, students, co-stakeholders, of every session. Equal to our collaborators, the advocates of their generous support and cooperation, which played a vital role in successful organization of this event. As we conclude, I sincerely hope that the professional connections and idea exchange during this conference will lead to new research collaborations and impactful contributions to society. I also thank our student team, Manasi Kalam, has taken a lot of creating a very dynamics of conference. And Manasi Kalam has taken us for speaking this conference about. Thank you very much. I also thank you meetings with money. Students, and also voted in their own manner. I also thank members from the school secretary, Madam Janesh, from school and Miss certain things. I apologize for me the same, but I these words I have already declared in my conference. Because it was a stable development to I will keep concluded. I wish you all the same journey home and look forward to meeting you again in future again. Thank you. Thank you all.
चेअर म्हणून आले. सो एक छोटासा भाग असेल तो ऍडमिनिस्ट्रेशनचा. तर मग मी असं समजते स्वतःला की मी पण तुमचा एक भाग आहे आजच्या दिवसापुरतं, आणि त्या अथॉरिटीनं किंवा त्या रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीने मी बोलते. जनरली काय असतं, कुठलंही काम करत असताना चुका ह्या होतच असतात आणि त्या ओपनली डिस्कस करणं ह्याच्यासाठी करेज लागतं. युजली त्या आपण नोट करतो आणि आपल्या इंटरनल मीटिंग मध्ये डिस्कस करत असतो आणि पुढच्या याच्यामध्ये ते ओव्हरकम करत असतो. तर मॅडम आहेत, बाकीची टीम एवढी सपोर्टिंग आहे, ते तर होणारच होतं, त्याच्याबद्दल काही डाऊटच नाही. पण जे बाहेरचे पार्टिसिपंट्स आहेत, रिसर्च स्टुडंट्स आहेत, त्यांना मी पर्सनली अशी विनंती करेल, ॲज अ सेशन चेअर म्हणून बोलतेय, की जे काही चांगल्या आठवणी आहेत, जे जे तुम्ही चांगलं इथं बघितलं ते तुमच्यासोबत घेऊन जा. आणि जे काही लॅक्युनाज वगैरे आहे ते आपण क्षीरसागर मॅडम आणि मॅनेजमेंटसाठी ठेवून घेऊ. सो गुड 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 मेमोरीज यू कॅरी विथ युअर सेल्फ. मॅडमनी ओपनली जरी ऍक्सेप्ट केलं तर मॅडम ते तुमच्यापाशी ठेवा, तुम्ही पुढच्या इंटरनॅशनल कॉन्फरन्सला इम्प्रूव्ह करा. आम्ही फक्त चांगल्या चांगल्या मेमोरीज घेऊन जाऊ. थँक्यू.
Thank you for your guidance, cooperation, and support. Thank you.